same arch over and over again.
It's like a really big hotel that's got 1,000 rooms. Like it just starts to have no character at all. See, animals and architecture. I like that.
Gargoyles.
And there are weird bird cages on this bridge. That's kind of crazy. Is it it's walking around rock architecture. This is a new problem when your buildings start walking away from you. You know, I know it's a mythic world, but it's very Romanesque architecture.
Definitely. Maybe the person who designed this went to UCLA.
Totally. I did my master's there in architecture.
Totally. Like,
that's so funny.
I could have sworn that was Royce Hall or the library. Right there.
Yeah.
I love those buildings. I think UCLA's campus is beautiful, the Romanesque buildings.
So Middle Ages, huh? Because we're a knight, more or less.
It's fantasy, you know. I used to try to peg fantasy to a particular period, you know. I wasn't a big Game of Thrones fan, but I did watch some of it. And when I first started watching it, I kept telling myself that this is set in the Middle Ages, and it's like it's not set in any time. It's fantasy.
Yeah, but Game of Thrones is very referential to sort of what happened in the UK when the Romans invaded, and there's this transition in religion from pagan to Christianity. So there's a sort of multiplicity happening. I mean, in a way, there's a lot of the same tropes.
I'm sure, but it's not trying to make a realistic depiction of it, because I just don't think it shows enough human misery on the day-to-day, you know?
There's less deformity than there would actually be.
Yeah.
What's with the texture on this wall? It's like sea urchin texture.
Yeah, or moonscape. Somebody could have just cribbed it from a planet.
I like this sort of under the sea feeling too. I'm getting.
It does sort of feel like you're in a undersea world a little bit, like you're inside of an aquarium. How many aquarium designs have you seen with classical ruins in them? It's a pretty common trope.
Aquarium fish prefer ruins to swim through.
Totally. I want my goldfish living in the temple of Saturn. Well, what kind of architecture is this? This is like this kind of English Gothic. It's kind of the style of Westminster Abbey and.
You don't think it's French Gothic
in London? Well, the one in the lower right corner doesn't look like it to me.
It's the proportions of it are kind of funky. Ooh, elevator.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But you know what's interesting about the windows? You would never had clear glass. It would have always been colored. See, animals and architecture.
Yeah.
I like that.
Gargoyles.
And there are weird bird cages on this bridge. That's kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I thought they were maybe for lanterns, but they're bird cages.
Something that happens in fantasy, whether it's sci-fi or historical, they always have bridges that have this incredibly exaggerated height, like this precipice that you'd fall 5,000 feet to your death. They're really emphasizing the height in this. Look where the camera is. It's super low. It's like very dramatic to give it a kind of Gothic kind of looming over you.
It's sort of neo-retro Gothic, if that's a thing. It's like a postmodern Gothic. No, that's what they did with all the Gothic cathedrals. They're incredibly high. The whole point of the Gothic arch was to create architecture that was taller. I feel like we're the Burger King guy.
He has kind of got that kind of beard, doesn't he?
That's beautiful. Look at the iron.
Yeah, I always love seeing architectural displays of armor in museums. They're fabulous. The technical design of them, the craftsmanship. Plates of metal could form and move around your body. Some of it's pretty sophisticated.
Big water wheel, elevator.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Those might be a little out of scale.
Everything's a little out of scale. Now, yeah, it's like he suddenly became 3 inches tall, and he's inside of the gears of a clock. That ginormous cog wheel is like something that you would see. Have you ever been to the Bethlehem Steelworks in Pennsylvania? You know, pumps and gears that are like 30 feet in diameter.
Is there a wreath on the door? Holiday decorating. It's like midsummer, apocalyptic midsummer.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's these kind of like these other emblems of life and spring in these flowers. And yet the village itself is
It's
sort
kind
of abandoned and scary. You expect to see death step into the scene and point his craggy finger towards eternity.
Totally. It's creepy. Uh-oh.
It's
Dead
like hologram.
people.
Oh, wow. That's morbid. Hanging from crucifixes. Wow. That's a great image.
And like we just passed the sort of Egyptian, what do you call the Egyptian ones that are the simple spire?
Obelisks.
Okay, yeah.
I wonder if there's any historical precedent for that, an obelisk of fire.
That's pretty amazing.
I mean, some of it's more Gothic than Gothic, right? Like they're kind of like layering on more detail than
Ooh,
that.
wow.
That's fantastic. Fabulous.
And I like how there's the like omnipresent, super large tree of life kind of at the background of everything.
Yeah, I wonder what that's supposed to do. Does that have any, if that has any significance in the game? Crows circling. That's an ominous sign.
And you know what I like about this too? It feels like I would be cold.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure. Yeah, it's cinematic. It feels like there's more to it than the architecture. You feel the cold, wet, damp world. You feel the wind blowing. You hear the wind blowing.
It's sort of British romantic, neo-Gothic.
Yeah, people love ruins. See, here I feel like they kind of just duplicated the same arch over and over again. They didn't really spend as much time on resolving how it met the corners.
It's like a really big hotel that's got 1,000 rooms. Like it just starts to have no character at all. That's awesome. Ooh, look at that light fixture.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And the trees, the tree tapestries. I wonder how many designers there usually are on a game. And is there a primary production designer like a film?
That's a good question.
That's beautiful.
Probably depends on the budget.
Sort of a Byzantine gold roof moment.
Yeah. These environments were put together with a little kit bashing.
I like, was this a sculpture that was created of a dragon, or was the dragon attacking and got turned to stone?
I'm going to guess the latter.
It's like fantasy medieval plop art. Rather than be commissioned, it occurs during attack.
What if, no, some wizard zapped him, froze him in mid-flight. I wonder when the first use of that idea of like the entire floor as elevator was used in movies or in games. It's something that comes up a lot.
I don't know if that one looks very stable.
No.
Uh-oh.
I think it's actually...
it isn't. Or it's alive.
It's alive.
Is it it's walking around rock architecture.
It's a walking rock.
This is a new problem when your buildings start walking away from you. That's cool. He sat down, so now we could climb up. And did you notice we changed outfits?
Yeah, he did change outfits.
Kind of looks like we just picked up a carpet and put it on.
Mm-hmm.
Can I point out something with this window?
Yes.
That doesn't work.
Yeah.
You gotta have a lead vein. Like, it's not like they had a big overall piece that then they put 3 pieces in.
Yeah, it's sort of applied onto the glass.
Well, and it does look like that 80s modeled shower glass, no?
Totally. Yeah.
I think those parts of game design are so beautiful. Like I wouldn't have expected to see this massive moon right there, and it's like that moment where it captures a moment in time and a poetry, just as if I was, driving home and I saw the moon be extra large and near the horizon. Hyperbole, the crazy exaggeration of what was historically accurate, multiplied so many times that it was absolutely fantastical.
Yeah, it's not trying to be historically accurate. It's trying to kind of tap into something in the player's memory about what they've seen, the kind of mythology that they've built up in their minds around architecture, architectural history, fantastical version of Gothic, a fantastical version of Renaissance, and kind of multiplying it, putting it on steroids.
For more experts react, check out Gamology's Facebook and YouTube pages. For more of me, head to Preen Inc. at Instagram.
Ball_Nogues_studio.
See you next time.